On an early December Monday night, TenbandTV presents Baldwin basketball as its non-section action early in the season between the visiting South Park Eagles and the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders here on TenbandTV. Austin Bechtold, pleased and honored to be back joining alongside with you at the table right across from the scorers table where head coach Jamal Woodson in his sixth season leading the Fighting Highlanders, along with the three Baldwin captains, Lindsey Bernatis, Jules Ott, and Lacey Bernatis, are getting ready for the coin toss and getting ready ultimately with the captains meeting at midcourt for a start of a matchup for the 2-1 Fighting Highlanders playing against an 0-2 South Park Eagles team, with Baldwin starting off the season on the road at Shadyside Academy on December 3rd. A matchup that ended up being a 52-47 defeat where Baldwin did not necessarily play well defensively. It was a back-and-forth affair. But as Jamal Woodson said to me earlier today, it was really a game where they were nervous, they played a little timid, and it was not them playing their typical normal self. And to start a season, that's not something utterly surprising where you got to get out some of the jitters and some of the feelings of a new season ultimately beginning. But in the Baldwin-Peters Township tip-off tournament, which has become, and always has been, at least for quite some time, a long withstanding tradition. Fighting Highlanders hosting two games against two very strong teams, Pine Richland and Upper St. Clair. Rams, who have been up and down but have a ton of talent, and Upper St. Clair, a team that has given Baldwin fits, whether it's been in non-section play or also in the section. Baldwin beat Pine Richland 61-44, and they beat the Panthers in overtime 51-45. Upper St. Clair no longer with Riley Caliquet, who has moved on to play at the next level at Kent State. And Baldwin taking them down. Needed extra time and needed a fifth quarter, but the Fighting Highlanders able to do it to lead to this 2-1 record. South Park on the season is 0-2. Started off with two games at home. This is the first road appearance for the Eagles of the season, losing to Trinity 51-36 and a 52-35 loss. Also playing against Shadyside Academy. That one played, though, at South Park, as both teams have played against Shadyside Academy and both have come up short, with South Park, a 4A team in Section 3, ultimately playing a ton of non-section games against teams in higher classifications. And we step aside for our national anthem. All lined up and set to go with Jamal Woodson in his classic Baldwin purple flowered sport coat, rocking jeans today in his sixth season leading the Fighting Highlanders. Steady progression every season. Last year, one of the best for Baldwin, 16-11 overall. They were 8-4 in section play. That was good for third overall in 5A Section 4 in the 2024-2025 season. And now Brad Schulte delivering our starting lineups. Andrea Kuzma, a senior 5'5" guard, wears number 10 for the South Park Eagles, wearing blue uniforms with white numbers and white trim. Nika Kontakis, a junior 5'9" guard, wears 13. Gianna Cardillo, a senior 5'6" guard, wears number 21, followed by Bella Stromberg, a senior 6'1" forward who will be one of the tallest players on the floor today, wears 22. And Haley Bennett, a senior 5'8" guard, also plays a little bit of forward, wears number 30 for South Park, coached by Ronnie Drennan, a Baldwin grad in 2006, and used to play for the Baldwin basketball team. And now for the Baldwin starting lineup. Hannah Prilla, the youngest starter for Baldwin in the lineup, the sophomore forward. Kelsey Meyer, who's the sixth man on last year's team, steps into the starting lineup in her junior year. Lindsay Bernatis, the junior guard, continues to improve and has started ever since her freshman year, a 3-year starter this season. Jules Ott might be the most improved player in the entire program, whether it's the boys team or the girls team. Senior guard wears number 2. And Isabella Niles, the senior captain, rounds it out. The guard wearing number 25 for the Fighting Highlanders in their white home uniforms, wearing purple numbers and purple and white trim. We are all set for action. South Park, third game of the year, first on the road this season. 2 out of the 3 for Baldwin so far have been victories and have been at home. Great to be back with you. Austin Bechtold courtside for tonight's matchup. Wednesday, the girls will play against Penn Trafford. It's doubleheader night as the girls play at 6. Boys to follow right around 7:30 against Penn Trafford. And the boys looking for revenge after last season's 21-1 campaign came to an end in the first round of the playoffs to Penn Trafford in a 2-15 matchup of the playoffs. One that no one saw coming and was stunning for many, including us over at the broadcast table, Ethan Spazarski and I, in disbelief of that. And the boys and Jeff Ackerman will have some revenge on their mind to try to win that and continue on what is so far a 1-0 start for the boys team. Hannah Prilla will jump it up as the Fighting Highlanders will attack the left side basket. As you see it, South Park wins the tip, and back to Kuzma, dribbling to the right side, guarded by Bernatis, will attack the right side basket. Kuzma drives in, looks to back it out, and is able to do so to Bennett. Swung around to the corner. Kentakis gives it up. Bennett down low. Swung around a few times. Kuzma, three-point ball up and left short. And the rebound is corralled by South Park. Back into the hands of Bennett. Bennett pulls from 3. Second shot misses, and Kelsey Meyer corrals the rebound. Myers with a 2-on-1. Bounce pass. Ott, layup, good, and the first points go to Jules Ott. Baldwin deploys the press with Ott, Meyer, and Lindsay Bernatis up front. Bella Niles and Hannah Prilla back. Bennett gives it up to the middle. Swung it over to Kuzma. Kuzma gets a screen from Stromberg. Now Kentakis up top. Guarded by Lindsay Bernatis. Ott goes for the steal. Loose ball. Who's got it? Fight for it on the ground, and it is into the hands of Meyer, and a jump ball ruled. Possession arrow will keep it here. So Meyer was on the ground after Ott was able to force the deflection and knock it away. Seems the possession arrow was not changed after the tip-off to the right direction, so it's actually Baldwin possession, where Ott will take it up. 2 juniors, 2 seniors, and 1 sophomore. And the Baldwin starting 5. Where's Bernatis? Driving in, backing it out. Niles pulls for 3. Niles can't hit, and that's rebounded by Stromberg. Stromberg looks for an outlet, was able to give it up. Bennett up the floor. Now Kentakis. We'll reset with Kuzma up top. It's one of the matchups to watch, Kuzma against Bernatis. As they go down low to Stromberg. Stromberg, double team comes. Flip to the corner. Meyer forces another jump ball. And this one will keep it here this time. She was battling with Cardillo. 6:23 remaining first quarter of play. 2-0 Baldwin leads after the Jules Ott layup on the breakaway from Kelsey Meyer. Inbounded by Kentakis at the left side block. They look for Stromberg right off the inbound. Has it right near the Baldwin bench. Defended well, but maybe too strong for Hannah Prilla, who picks up her first foul. And it will place the ball or the sideline. And there's some confusion on the scorer's table as to who the foul was on. Sounded like they colored on South Park, which wasn't the case. I think they just got the jersey color wrong. And it is on Hannah Prilla. It's the first on Baldwin. It's the first against either team in the game. Prilla will guard the ball as Stromberg throws it in. Stromberg does get it in. And it's Kentakis giving way to Kuzma. Up top. Kuzma drives, kicks to the corner. Cardillo will give it up. Baldwin looking for a travel. Swing across court to Bennett. Bennett guarded by Ott. Kuzma drives. It's dribble drive offense so far for South Park. Not a lot of shot opportunities. As Cardillo bounces it to Bennett. Bennett drives, backs out. Swings to the corner. Right side three ball is up and left it short. No one goes for the rebound, though, as it's Bennett that is able to take it off the miss from Kuzma. Bennett crossover move. Gives up to Kentakis. And Kentakis drives in, gives it up. Stromberg knocked away and is out of bounds. Last touch by South Park as Kentakis was not able to keep her foot in bounds. Foot was on the baseline. She stepped out with 5:33 to go, still in a 2-0 game. Not too quick of a pace so far in the matchup. As Ott drives left side, gives way to Niles. Gets a screen from Meyer. Swung on over to Prilla. Looking down low, trying to isolate Meyer. And instead it's Bernardis. Bernardis drives in right side. Lefty shot is blocked on the way up from Stromberg, and it'll be out of bounds at the right side block. 5:13 to go in the quarter. Jules off to throw it in. Goes right into Prilla. Meyer up top. Has an open Ott. Ott pulls. Quick trigger for three. Misses, but Niles is right there for the rebound and draws a foul. So Isabella Niles will go to the free throw line. A multi-year starter for Baldwin. As it goes on, Andrea Kuzma, her first. Isabella Niles, one of four seniors, rather, for the Fighting Highlanders this season as she makes the first. And Jamal Woodson expects pretty much all of them to play at the next level as Niles drains them both. Kentakis throws it in. Now Bennett. And they get it up the floor. Cardillo dribbling with it. Guarded by Prilla. And Ott able to force the steal into the hands of Prilla. Back to Ott. And they're up the floor to Meyer. Meyer with a huge collision. Colliding with Stromberg looking for the basketball. And there's a foul called that will go on Stromberg. So Bella Stromberg picks up her first. They'll send Cardillo out. And Reese Recker subs in for the first time. South Park, not really with a deep bench. Typically run Reese Recker and Josie Stanton off their bench, two sophomores. Look down low. Good move for Ott. The fly open and hit the layup. 6-0 Baldwin. 4 points for Jules Ott. Bennett with it. Cross court, Stromberg. Stromberg looking up the floor. No outlet yet. It's to Bennett. Bennett still dribbling. Trying to get over the timeline in time. Baldwin, good pressure from Bernardis and Ott. And they force 10 seconds. South Park could not get it over as the press pays off for the first time for Baldwin tonight. Ott with it. Just about half the quarter gone by. Bounce pass Prilla. Prilla gives it up. Ott driving in and gets fouled. Clock stops with 4:05, and it is on the floor. And it goes on Stromberg, and that's her second. So it could be a costly foul for Stromberg. Tallest player on the floor at 6'1". And she has to come off. Ott gets it into Niles, inside the arc. Off a couple of dribbles, gives it up to Bernardis. Lindsay drives all the way in, left hand, can't get it to roll in. Prilla, though, on the rebound, finishes. And Aprilla follows it up, and 3 scores in the game for Baldwin to make it 8-0. Over the timeline, had a wide open Cardillo down low. They get it to her now, out to Bennett. Bennett, a couple of dribbles, Ott almost with the steal. Driving in, Kuzma, shot up off the back of the rim. Bennett able to clean it up, puts up the shot. Too strong, though, and it's rebounded by Ott. 3.5 to go in an 8-0 game. Up the floor to Meyer. Meyer to the corner. Bella Niles up for 3, too strong. Aprilla, another offensive rebound. Aprilla's pass is stolen away as it's taken by Recker, who now has to look for an outlet right near her bench and is able to get it up. Kuzma has it, guarded by Kelsey Meyer. Meyer with physical defense up top. And thrown away by Kuzma. So South Park still has not scored as we approach 3 minutes left in the quarter. 2 subs for Baldwin as J.C. Klingensmith subs in for the first time, the senior who had 7 points in the game against South Park. And also Lacey Bernardis subs into the game for Baldwin as the Fighting Highlanders call 30-second timeout. It's either South Park that calls the timeout. And 3 fouls on South Park so far in the quarter, just 1 on Baldwin. The 1 foul called against Hannah Aprilla. 1 on Kuzma, 2 on Stromberg for South Park. Eagles looking for their first victory of the season. They do play a pretty difficult non-conference schedule, at least to start. Section play starts up for them with Laurel Highlands, Mount Pleasant, and Bell Vernon. South Park last season, 17-8 overall. They were 12-2 in 4A Section 3. Elizabeth Forward won the section at 13-1. Team that Baldwin is pretty familiar with in non-conference play. They averaged 51 a game and just gave up 35 last year. So a team that scores it at a pretty decent clip and is strong defensively, but it's not putting any points on the board yet as they look down low trying to find Ott, and Meyer throws it away out of bounds. It seemed Ott was just a little bit too late on the cut to try to get to the basketball as they will back off the press. South Park still looking for its first points. Double team comes, and Ott tries to take it away from Kuzma. And Kuzma was able to get it away before a jump ball is called. Fight for the ball once again, and it goes into the hands of Ott. Ott over the timeline. Looks for Klingensmith, is able to keep it from going out of bounds. Now back to Ott up top. Jules Ott primarily plays point guard along with Lindsey Bernardis. Bernardis and Ott both out there in the game wearing 1 and 2. It's Ott, number 2, looking to give it up, and does the Klingensmith. Back to the corner. Lacey Bernardis likes that spot and hits the 3. Lacey Bernardis makes a living hitting 3s in the corner and hits her first of the night to make it 11-0. The double-digit lead for Baldwin. And up the floor to Recker. Thrown down low to the block and away as Baldwin's defense has just been too much for South Park to handle. The Eagles looking pretty discombobulated so far, and talked about the offensive numbers that South Park put up last year at 51 points per game. They're averaging 35.5 per game through just 2. 36 against Trinity, 35 against Shadyside Academy, both losses. As it's Ott giving it up to Meyer. Lacey dribbles with it. Gives it up to Meyer down low. Meyer dribbles it off her foot, and it goes out of bounds. So Baldwin will go back to deploying the press with Meyer defending the ball. Bernardis and Ott defending the 2 guards. Lindsey almost knocked it away and instead is drawn for a foul. Too strong of pressure against Kuzma. First on Lindsey Bernardis, that's the second on Baldwin, and Bella Niles subs back in as Bernardis will take a seat. The 5 for Baldwin: Meyer, Niles, Ott, Lacey Bernardis, and Klingensmith. Kuzma gives it up just in time. Cardillo almost traveled. Back up top, where Kuzma will slow it down. Now speeds up. Weave action with Kentakis. She gets it back in the corner. Bounce pass to a driving Kuzma, where the double team comes. Meyer tries to knock it away. Fight for the ball on the ground, and it results in another jump ball with the possession arrow favoring Baldwin. So Baldwin with some swarming defense. The Fighting Highlanders defensively, solid start to the season. They gave up 52 against Shadyside Academy, 44 against Pine Richland, 45 against Upper St. Clair. Meyer down low, throws it to the corner, and Klingenschmidt was wide open, but errant pass goes out of bounds. With 1:07 left, Lindsey Bernardes comes back in. As Kelsey Meyer will take a seat. They get it into Kuzma. Kentakis up the floor. And off a couple of dribbles, errantly, Recker loses it out of bounds, not able to corral the pass. And it's just been a sloppy game for South Park so far. As Lindsey Bernardes goes off, and Aaliyah Bernardes comes on for the first time. 3 Bernardes sisters on the team. Aaliyah, a freshman, Lindsey, a junior, Lacey, a senior. All playing together. As Ott puts it up, misses. Fight for the ball is taken by Kuzma. Able to outlet, and Kentakis up the floor. They go to Bennett. Bennett in the final 40 seconds of the quarter. Bennett drives in, kick to the corner. 3-point ball up, and left short once again, but Bennett's there for the rebound. Niles fighting for it, and a foul is called as no one had possession of the basketball on the loose ball. And Niles fouls Kentakis to pick up her first. It's the third on Baldwin in the quarter. Each team with 3. And it'll be inbounded right near the Baldwin bench. Right in between the bench and the scorer's table. With Ott guarding the ball. Easily into Kuzma in the backcourt. Double team comes. It's Niles and Ott trying to force it. And now Bennett, guarded by Klingenschmidt. Almost stepped out of bounds. Bennett bounce pass down low. And a shooting foul will send Reese Recker to the free throw line. Recker put it up with 23.4 still to go in the quarter. Was right underneath the basket. Went off the bottom of the rim. As Aaliyah Bernardes picks up her first, and a chance for South Park to score for the first time. So Reese Recker, the sophomore 5'8" guard, will shoot 2. And she's able to hit the first. Recker, the only player off the bench that has played for South Park in the matchup. Not able to get the second, but Bennett able to get the offensive rebound. Bennett drives in, dishes to the corner, 3-point ball up. Kentakis can't hit. Last touch, though, by Klingenschmidt will stay here with 13.8. They're an 11-1 game. Fighting Highlanders defensively. Putting up a really good showing. Multiple steals to show for it. As Aaliyah Bernardes guards Bennett. Played in the JV game earlier today as well as Bennett drives in and draws a foul. It's a push from Aaliyah Bernardes. And that is her second, picking up 2 fouls in the last minute. So sends Haley Bennett to the free throw line. Bennett, who is committed to play basketball next year at Allegheny. Wants to study pre-med. And her dad has worked in the Pittsburgh media for a long time, was helping out with the RMU TV department for a very long time, where I had a chance to meet the man when I was there for a couple of years. Bernardes misses the 3-point ball right before the buzzer, just a little bit short, but a great start for the Fighting Highlanders. The first 8 minutes go by, and an 11-3 lead for Baldwin. Back after this on TenbandTV.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health insurance marketplace. How can I help you?
I need help paying my health insurance premiums.
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest costs on high quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com, paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Back for the second quarter, South Park was immediately, just a couple of seconds in, called for an over and back as they had the basketball to begin the second quarter as Bernatis gives way. Prilla, good drive to the basket and a good find by Lindsey Bernatis as she picks up the assist. And the second basket of the night for Hannah Prilla. Up the floor to Bennett. Bennett, guarded by Niles, gives it up to the corner. Fake on the three ball. And instead, the shot block for Prilla, at least nicely contested with Recker putting up the shot as Ott backs it out to the three-point line. Gives it up. Lindsey steps back, now drives in. Lindsey finds space, puts it up and scores. Scoop and score Lindsey Bernatis, her first points. So 5 different scorers for Baldwin. Lindsey Bernatis, Jules Ott, Isabella Niles, Hannah Prilla, Lacey Bernatis all on the board. Kelsey Meyer, the only starter not to score yet in a 15-3 game. Minute gone by, second quarter. Up the floor, Bennett gives it up. It's Recker throwing it cross court. Double team comes guarding Kuzma. And Kuzma with the ball deflected by Lindsey Bernatis. Gets back into the hands of Kuzma. Layup doesn't go. Right hand on the left side. It's thrown out of bounds by South Park, but last deflected by Ott. A substitution for South Park will bring Bella Stromberg, the senior, back into the game. As they take Recker out, Stromberg dealing with the 2 fouls, and they throw it right into her. Guarded by Prilla. Looking down low for Kuzma. They give it to her. Kuzma. Pass to the middle of the floor. Back to Stromberg. Stromberg pulls for 3. Left it short, and that's been the theme for South Park tonight. Most shots have been off the front of the rim. As Ott brings it up. And Ott gives to Prilla up top. Looking for some movement down low. It's back to Ott off a screen. Deflected on the way to Meyer. Over to Bernatis. Lindsey drives, bounce pass. Niles tries to save it from it going out of bounds and instead throws it away. Bennett up the floor to 3-on-2 against South Park. And everyone gets back. And it's knocked away by Ott. Ott with the steal. Ott one-on-one against Bennett. Ott takes the contact, can't finish. We'll go to the free throw line. Clock stops at 5:54. It's the first foul on Haley Bennett. So Julianne Ott to the free throw line. The senior, second team all-conference a year ago. Was able to hit the first. Now 5 points in the game. For the 2-1 Fighting Highlanders on the year. Third home game of the season. Fourth will be on Wednesday against Penn Trafford. And Ott hits them both. Ott has had a really nice AAU career as well. And Prilla, nobody to force the errant throw. Stays with South Park out of bounds. Kentakis trying to throw it in. And she stepped over the line. Or I think they're actually going to call. Yeah, so she did step over the line. Wasn't sure if it was Meyer, at least at first, that maybe got a little bit too close to defending the inbound, but Bernatis airballs the shot right off the inbounds. Offensive rebound, though, by Bella Niles, and she throws it away into the hands of Kentakis. Kentakis up the floor, dribbles through traffic. Gives it up, Stromberg. Stromberg off one dribble, deflected by Bernatis. And it's corralled again by Bennett, who gets a screen from Stromberg. Bennett drives all the way in, puts it up, left it short, and the rebound goes to Prilla. Prilla with Stromberg defending. Jamal Woodson calls timeout with Prilla in a little bit of trouble, and Stromberg trying to defend the outlet pass. Clock stops at 5:26 remaining in the half, and a 17-3 lead for Baldwin. Jules Ott with 6 points to lead all scorers. The only scoring for South Park so far in this game has come at the free throw line. Recker with 1 free throw, that started it off, and Haley Bennett with 2 free throws, good in the first quarter. The only points so far for the Eagles, who play in a section with Elizabeth Forward, Laurel Highlands, Bell Vernon. And Bell Vernon, where head coach Ronnie Drennan teaches at as a physical education teacher at Bell Vernon. Also in a section with York, Mount Pleasant, Ringgold, and Southmoreland. Ringgold, whose boys team plays against our Baldwin boys. Pretty deep section with just 3 sections in Class 4A. 4 separate sections in 5A for Baldwin, with the Fighting Highlanders in Section 4. So Ott brings it up. It's Ott, Lindsay Bernatis, Hannah Prilla, Kelsey Meyer, and Bella Niles. Starting 5 in the game. As it's Meyer pulling for 3, left side wing. Misses, and it's rebounded by Bennett. Bennett up the floor. 2-on-1 emerging with Stromberg. Bennett on the fake. Nice move, but can't score. And it's rebounded by Ott. Up the floor to an open Bella Niles. Niles off one dribble, draws the contact, takes it, and scores. Here's a Bella Niles with her first field goal. She's got 4 in the night. Stromberg up the floor. They easily break the press into the hands of Kuzma. Kuzma gets a screen from Stromberg. Doesn't affect Ott, though, defensively, and they go to Bennett. Bennett on the weave. Backs out 3-point line. On a dribbling from South Park as they go to the corner on Cardillo. Gives it up. Kuzma on a good cut. Gets fouled. Fouled inside the paint for the first foul against Baldwin in the quarter, and it goes against Lindsay Bernatis. That is her second. So now 2 on Lindsay Bernatis, 2 on Aaliyah Bernatis, who came in for just about a minute and a half and picked up 2 fouls at the end of the first quarter, and a second foul on Baldwin in the corner. Stops the clock with 4:31 to go in a 19-3 game. This one will go on Hannah Prilla. That's her second. So Lindsay Bernatis with 2, Aaliyah Bernatis with 2, Hannah Prilla with 2. And the one batter from the right side block with Lacey Bernatis coming in. Lacey with no fouls. So out of the entire Bernatis family, 4 fouls total. Lacey not credited with any. Stromberg has it. Drives baseline. And it's stolen away by Baldwin. Here's Ott up the floor to an open Lindsay Bernatis off one dribble left hand, plus the foul, count it. And Lindsay will go to the free throw line, trying to capitalize on 3-point play. And the foul goes on Andrea Kuzma, her second. So of the 5 fouls called against South Park, 2 on Kuzma, 2 on Stromberg, 1 on Bennett. That's Lindsay Bernatis, first team all section last year. Can't hit the free throw. And it's rebounded by Stromberg. Bennett with Bernatis giving chase. Bennett with some open space. Gives it up, 3-point ball. Kontakis hits in the corner. And that's the first field goal for South Park in the game as we approach the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. As Bernatis drives in, right hand, can't finish. Fight for the rebound, goes to Bennett. And Bennett has been around a ton of loose balls today. Tries to hook around Bernatis and does. Kuzma pulls for an open 3. Can't hit it. Good box out by Kelsey Meyer, and she takes it. Meyer with Ott up the floor. Meyer drives all the way in against Stromberg, and Stromberg blocks it away. Rejected by Stromberg. And when you have the significant height advantage, which really is not truly the case in that aspect, Kelsey Meyer, pretty tall for her own right. Right around 5'10". As Lindsay Bernatis throws it in, and does to Lacey. Lacey gets it deflected and right back to her out the hands of Kuzma. Tries to give it up again. Lindsay Bernatis loses it. Ott picks it up. And backs to half court. Jamal Woodson calls out the play. With Ott driving left side, gives way to Niles. The screen comes from Meyer. They try to bounce pass it, but it goes in the hands of Stromberg, and Stromberg takes it away. Now Recker looking for an outlet. Looks for Stromberg, fouled by Niles. Second on Niles. So every player that has committed a foul, Baldwin's way has 2. That's the third of the quarter. And J.C. Klingensmith will come on for Niles with the 2 fouls. Thrown into Kuzma. Guarded in the backcourt by Ott. Kuzma trying to keep her dribble. Here's Bennett. Bennett stolen away by Meyer. Meyer fighting for the ball. Picks it up. Meyer in pursuit. Got it knocked away. Got it back. Bernardus can't hit off the window. And now Bennett will try to dribble out of traffic. Bennett, spin move. Goes up to Stromberg. Back to Bennett. Up top with another 3 to go in the half. Bennett drives, loses the ball. Out of bounds, and it's last touched by Baldwin. Looks like it was last touched by Lacey Bernardus, maybe off of her ankle. As it went out of bounds after Bennett lost control. Unfortunate that it went off of a defender as they go quickly into Stromberg. Double team comes. Up to Kuzma. Kuzma drives, gets around Ott. Open layup and takes it and scores. Andrea Kuzma with her first points. Makes it a 21-8 game. Quickly up the floor they go. Lacey Bernardus to Klingensmith. Klingensmith likes to take those threes, and they back it out now to Lindsay. Lindsay up to Ott. As they'll set it up. Ott, Lacey Bernardus, J.C. Klingensmith, Kelsey Meyer, Lindsay Bernardus, the 5 for Baldwin as it's up top to Meyer. And bright green and gold shoes. Back to Meyer. Klingensmith swings it. Left side. Bernardus drives in. Left it short. Lindsay gets her own rebound. Looks for an outlet. Goes to Lacey. Up top for 3. And got it. Lacey Bernardus with 2 threes in the game. Give her 6. Tied for the Baldwin lead. (24-8) the score. Kuzma gives way. It's Recker. Recker easily past Bernardus, but too high of a dribble and lost the ball. Bounce pass. Lindsay Bernardus on a couple of steps. Too strong. Jules Ott on the rebound. It's blocked by Stromberg. Really no contact on the way up as Stromberg just took the basketball away. Distinct height advantage. As it's Kentakis. They swing it to the corner. Recker drives and backs it back out to the three-point arc where Lacey Bernardus contests. Stromberg steps back. Hits. Jumper for Stromberg. Stromberg, Kentakis, Kuzma with field goals in the second quarter to put South Park in double figures. Bernardus passes up on the 3. Tried to pass it to Klingensmith. And it's taken by South Park. The Eagles with the steal. A little bit of confusion for South Park trying to get the ball over the timeline. And they're finally able to do so with Bennett. Driving, Bennett, layup, good. And the Allegheny commit, Haley Bennett, has 4 points to lead South Park. And it makes it 24-12. So Baldwin has doubled up South Park, but South Park shrinking the lead. And Baldwin built up so distinctly in the first couple of minutes of this quarter, and especially in the first. Another steal for South Park. Bennett in transition with Bernardus giving chase and blocks it. Lindsay Bernardus, good defense to be able to recover and block the basketball as Bennett thought there was really no one behind her and maybe had a little bit more time than she thought to be able to hit the layup. As Josie Stanton comes in for the first time for South Park. Prilla also comes back in as Lindsay Bernardus takes a seat. Ball will be thrown in for the right side block. 9.7 left to go, and they go right into Stromberg. Guarded by Prilla with Meyer bringing the double team. Meyer trying to force the steal. They go to the corner. Now thrown down low. It's Kuzma off one dribble. Stanton in the corner left side. Can't hit the 3, and the clock expires on the first half of play. And a 24-12 lead for Baldwin. The Fighting Highlanders with a strong defensive performance. They give up 9 points in the second quarter after just 3 in the first. And they put up 13 in the second quarter after scoring 11 in the first 8 minutes of play. And a 24-12 lead. We've reached halftime here at Baldwin on TenbandTV.
Thank you for calling.
3. Second shot misses, and Kelsey Meyer corrals the rebound. Myers with a 2-on-1. Bounce pass. Ott, layup, good. And the first points go to Jules Ott. Inside the arc. Off a couple of dribbles, gives it up to Bernatis. Lindsay drives all the way in, left hand, can't get it to roll in. Prilla, though, on the rebound, finishes. And Prilla follows it up, and 3 scores. Give it up and does the Klingensmith. Back to the corner. Lacey Bernatis likes that spot and hits the 3. Lacey Bernatis makes a living hitting 3s in the corner by Baldwin. Here's Ott up the floor. To an open Lindsay Bernatis off one dribble, left hand, plus the foul, count it. And Lindsay will go to the free throw line, trying to capitalize on 3-point play. Bennett with Bernatis giving chase. Bennett with some open space, gives it up, 3-point ball. Kontakis hits in the corner, and that's the first field goal. Backs it back out to the 3-point arc, where Lacey Bernatis contests. Stromberg steps back, hits. Jumper for Stromberg. Baldwin built up so distinctly in the first couple of minutes of this quarter, and especially in the first. Another steal for South Park. Bennett in transition with Bernatis giving chase and blocks it. Lindsay Bernatis, good defense.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health insurance marketplace. How can I help you?
I need help paying my health insurance premiums.
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest costs on high-quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
a wonderful day!
Welcome to Temple Strength and Sport Performance, where we empower you to reach new heights in strength, speed, and athletic performance. Temple is here to support you every step of the way. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, join him in Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania and discover the difference. For more information, call 412-527-1755. Start your journey with us today.
Do you have a favorite leather couch or chair that's damaged? Has your car, boat, or RV's interior seen better days? Maybe your business's furniture or your private aircraft's interior could use a little love. You're probably thinking replacement is going to be expensive. And what happens to the damaged piece after you throw it out? Does it just end up in a landfill? It doesn't have to. FiberNew specializes in the restoration of leather, plastic, and vinyl. To get an estimate, connect with us today.
Look at him, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, climbing his way through the corporate rat race. We've all been there, focused on that next raise, promotion, chocolate bar. Keeping an eye on your health can be exhausting. Weight Loss Direct is a personalized wellness and weight loss program. You utilize an AI algorithm to determine your specific foods and match you with a real-life coach and an easy-to-follow meal plan so you could stay on track to success and health. Check out weightlossdirect.com to learn more.
Gonna get up, pretty baby. Gonna get out of this rocking chair.
Hewitt creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship for the Seneca Valley Raiders with 12:29 to play in triple overtime, and don't ever play Lady of Spain again.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's official.
Back for the start of the second half in a 24-12 lead for the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders. The second half begins. Austin Bexhold with you alongside on TenbandTV as Baldwin 2-1 on the year looks to continue its winning streak after losing the first game of the season to Shadyside Academy. Up next for Baldwin will be a non-section matchup against Penn Trafford. This is a long string of games for Baldwin at home. The Fighting Highlanders will not play a road game until next season. Well, next year, I should say, 2026, when the Fighting Highlanders will go to Uniontown, which is a section matchup, for a 5:30 game on January 6, 2026 at Uniontown, with a decent amount of the schedule being played on the road just because so many games for Baldwin at the start of section play and non-section are at home. The Shadyside Academy game is the only non-section game for Baldwin on the road until Elizabeth Forward, the final game of the regular season on February 9th. In the first half for Baldwin, Lindsay Bernatis 4 points, Jules Ott with 6, Kelsey Meyer the only starter not to score, Isabella Niles and Hannah Prillo with 4 points apiece. Lacey Bernatis with 6 off the bench with 2 threes, the only threes that have been hit for Baldwin in the game. The only one for South Park from Nika Kontakis, a 3-point ball in the second quarter as South Park did not hit a field goal in the first quarter. Just 3 total points on 3 free throws for Haley Bennett with 2 in that first quarter. She ended up scoring in the second quarter as well with a team lead at 4, and Reese Recker off the bench with 1 free throw in the first quarter. Andrea Kuzma, the senior 5'5 guard wearing number 10 with 2 points. Bella Stromberg, the 6'1 senior forward, also plays a little bit at center with 2 points on the matchup. Stromberg committed to play at Washington and Jefferson for basketball, where former Baldwin basketball great Megan Dryberg played. 1,000-point scorer, a PAC champ, a 2021 Baldwin grad, and very successful at W&J. All-time rebounding mark as well. A lot of high marks for Meg. At her time with the Presidents, and they really ran the PAC for those 4 years. As Ott drives in, makes a move inside, creates some space, We'll see if the shot counts to make it 2, or if it is on the floor, and it will be a shooting foul. Sending Jules out to the free throw line, where she's 2 for 2 so far. Andrea Kuzma picks up the foul. That is her 3rd. So Ott to the free throw line. Was able to hit the first. Jules Ott committed to play basketball at Penn State Barron next season. Second team All-Section honoree a year ago and hits them both. Team lead and the game lead with 8. At one point had more points than South Park had the entire game. That's Kuzma. Backs it out. South Park attacks the left side basket as you see it in the second half as we flip ends. Attack at the basket right by its bench. As it's Bennett up top. Gives away to Kuzma. And Kuzma guarded by Ott. The foul off the ball. Niles was trying to give chase against Cardillo. And Isabella Niles is not the one that picks up the foul. It's Kelsey Meyer that picks up her 2nd. Ball being batted at the left side block. And it's Kentakis to throw it in and gets it in just in time to Bennett, who takes off 1 step, pulls back for 3, and hits it. Nothing but net for Haley Bennett with 7 points. Her first triple. And it cuts it to 26-15. It's an 11-point advantage for Baldwin. Lindsay Bernardis drives, backs out, guarded by Bennett. Bernardis drives in again, has to kick it. It's Ott. Ott up top. Good defensive contest against her by Kentakis. Now Meyer. Ott up top. Calls out the play. They'll send Niles over to the right side wing and give it to her. Niles with nothing but open space. Doesn't see it, though, as they look down low. Ott misses the layup. Might have got blocked on the way up by Kentakis. Fight for the rebound. Prilla helps force a jump ball that will send the possession arrow down to South Park. So South Park sticking around in this game. Continues to slowly cut the Baldwin lead. And at the end of the first quarter was 11-3. It built up even larger than that. It was 24-12 at half. Kuzma spins. Double team help comes from Niles. They give it up. Bennett drives in. Bennett can't finish. Stromberg deflects it to Bennett. Up top. Kuzma down low. Open Stromberg right hand left side finishes. 4 for Stromberg. It's cut to 9. Not much movement at all from Baldwin as Niles and Bernardis will now switch sides. And Lindsay loses the ball, gets it back. Gets a screen from Prilla. Prilla rolls off of it. Was open. A late find, but there's Prilla getting blocked by Stromberg. Prilla gets it back on the second chance effort and gets fouled. And Stromberg couldn't believe it. Put her hands right up and looked immediately to the bench as she is called for her 3rd foul. So Stromberg had 2 quick fouls in the first quarter. That now her 3rd will send Hannah Prilla to the free throw line for the first time. And Prilla can't bounce in the first. So South Park will send Reese Recker back in. Lacey Bernardis comes on for Lindsay. One shot for Prilla to send it back to 10, and she does. 5 points for Prilla. Baldwin backing off the press a little bit as it's Meyer picking up the basketball. South Park easily over the timeline to Bennett. Bennett drives right side, right near her bench. Defended by Ott and has to back it out. Kuzma sets up the play. Trying to get away from Niles. Physical defense by Isabella. Niles just knocked into the hands of Ott. Ott with the steal. With the pass intended to Bennett. Help comes. Ott will go to the free throw line. It was Bennett and Kentakis on the contest. And the foul ended up going on Nika Kentakis. It's her first, and it sends Jules Ott back to the free throw line. First miss of the night. Now 4 of 5. And Ott can't hit either free throw, but good effort from Hannah Prilla, who had 13.5 rebounds per game a year ago. She's trapped in the corner, though. Just throws it to center court, where Ott's able to contain. A 27-17 game, approaching the 5-minute mark in the third quarter. Ott gets a screen from Prilla, loses control of the basketball, has to pick it up, guarded by Bennett. Ott and Bennett. Good matchup tonight, back and forth between the two. Gives it up. Lacey Bernardis looks down low for Prilla. Instead, it's Meyer. Meyer gives it up to Ott. Walking down low. Meyer's open. Meyer layup good. Plus the foul. And it goes on Haley Bennett, her second. Kelsey Meyer with her first points of the night. All 5 starters for Baldwin have scored, and she'll have a chance for more. And it's the 4th foul against South Park in the quarter, just 1 against Baldwin. Kelsey Meyer off the back of the rim, fights for the rebound. And it goes to South Park. Kontakis throws it to Bernardis. Lacey up the floor. Bounce pass to Ott with Niles. Ott all the way in and gets it to fall. Layup good for Jules Ott. She's in double figures with 10. Kuzma drives, back out. Kontakis up top. And is guarded by Meyer. He's able to spin away. Down low. And give it up to the corner where the 3 ball is up and misses. It seemed like there was an open layup opportunity for Cardillo, who has been held off the score sheet, but just bypassed it. Has to go back up top to Ott. Not to Bernardis. Bypasses the 3. They go down low. Prilla turns around, misses the layup. Niles trying to rip away the rebound. Fight for the loose ball continues right at the top of the key. And a result in a jump ball, which will keep the possession arrow with the Fighting Highlanders. 3:39 still to go. It's a 31-17 game. Austin Bechtold with you on TenbandTV. 2-1 Baldwin against 0-2 South Park. Non-section play. Baldwin in 5A, South Park in 4A. South Park, who is in 4A just by 2 students, as they send it over to Ott. Off the inbound. Can't hit the 3. And another fight for the loose ball. Possession arrow this time favors South Park. And South Park expected to go back down to 3A next year. Just 2 girls was the total number that ended up putting them over the line to differentiate between being a 3A school and a 4A school. And you think of South Park, typically don't think of a relatively big area to play with 4A schools like Elizabeth Forward, Belle Vernon, Laurel Highlands, who are easily larger districts. Bennett able to score high off the window. 9 for Haley Bennett. Ott loses her dribble. Able to contain it, though, and not go over and back. Niles brings the screen. Lindsay still dribbling with it. Klingensmith, was it tipped on the way? Doesn't matter. Klingensmith can't track it down before it goes out of bounds right near the South Park bench. Eagles will take over, and Meyer will come back in for Lindsay Bernardis. 3 minutes to go, third quarter. 31-19 the score. Into Kuzma. Now Kontakis. Bennett, the last to touch it. It seemed like it was deflected first before it got to Bennett, but she ended up getting a hand on it when it was sent out of bounds. As Ott will throw it in. And now South Park will pick up full court. Kontakis guards Ott. Double team from Kuzma. Ott is able to dribble away from it, and a bounce pass goes to Niles. And an open Bernardis down low. Instead, it's Meyer with a jump ball called as Meyer put up the shot, and it looked like she was able to get it off in time to either force a foul or put up the shot and have nothing called, but instead, it ends up going as a jump ball. Lacey Bernardis takes it away, though, on the press. Down low, Ott puts it up, and there's the foul. No basket for Meyer. As Jules Ott will go to the free throw line. And the foul goes on Haley Bennett, her third. So more free throws for Ott as she hits the first. Now 11 points in the matchup for Jules Ott. And Lindsay Bernadas, visibly upset over at the Baldwin bench, was being consoled right near the scorer's table. Not entirely sure what happened as she came off the floor during the last substitution. Trap comes and off of Ott's foot as Cardillo throws it off of Jules' leg and stops the clock at 2:20. Into Kuzma. Up the floor to Bennett. Kelsey Meyer helps bring the trap with Lacey Bernadas. Kuzma has an open area. And they swing it to Recker. Cross court, and last touch by Kentakis out of bounds. So every time South Park starts to find a little bit of a rhythm, kind of find a way to lose it. Their defense has been pretty solid in the matchup. Only 2 minutes left in the third. Here's Ott getting a screen from Meyer. Ott outlets. It's Lacey Bernadas right near the Baldwin bench. Lacey gives down low. Meyer spins, tries to give it up. Klingensmith to Niles. Open three right side. Left it way short, but Lacey Bernadas is there for the rebound. Lacey gives way. Meyer, three, off the back of the rim. Ott deflects it to Meyer, but it's over the back. Called against Jules Ott, and just Jules is first. And it goes as the third against Baldwin. There are 5 fouls in the quarter against South Park, so next foul on the floor will result in 2 free throws for Baldwin. Baldwin still deploying the press. It's Bennett up the floor. High pass, down low. And a step by Cardillo. He's able to go. Baldwin wanted to travel, but Cardillo able to create some open room to hit. 33-21. Ott trapped. Trying to throw it off the foot of Kuzma, and Ott kicked it out of bounds. That's touch by Baldwin. Has some sloppy play back and forth by both sides. As they get it into Kuzma. Still a lot of time for South Park to mount a comeback. Trying to force the steal against Kuzma, but instead picks up a foul. So 2 fouls against Ott, both coming in the last couple of minutes. And they'll inbound it right near us. Into Kuzma. Calls out the play. Kentakis has some space. They go to Bennett. Bennett for three. Bounces around a couple of times and misses into the hands of Ott. Ott moves up the floor with Lacey Bernadas. Bernadas with it. Also has Meyer. Bernadas down low. Meyer puts it up. A little bit of a shove, and it's a late whistle. But a call is going the way of Meyer with 44.5 still to go. And Kelsey Meyer will go to the free throw line. She is 0 of 1 on the day. And the foul goes on Kuzma. That is her 4th. As Meyer hits the first. So Kuzma with 4, Stromberg with 3, Bennett with 3, and Stromberg comes back on for Kuzma, who has the 4th foul. Stromberg with 3 in the final 44.5 in the quarter. Meyer's got the second. Bennett wanting a screen from Stromberg, now sends her off as Bennett just wants to take it herself. Pass Ott, can't finish though. South Park, Ronnie Drennan looking for a foul, they don't get it. Ball is thrown away into the hands of Recker. She forces the steal. Chance for South Park to have the final shot of the quarter. Bennett. And in the corner, a timeout is called with Recker trapped. So South Park called a timeout, and Drennan was signaling to Bennett. They had a wide open player in the left side corner. And it's a 30-second timeout called by South Park. Ronnie Drennan went to Baldwin, a 2006 Baldwin grad. Used to coach the freshman team at Baldwin as well. He's former coach at Bell Vernon as well. The head coach at South Park. PE teacher for 15 years. He's at Bell Vernon. He's played at Baldwin with Jason Pinkston, who donated to help support the Baldwin boys locker room reconstruction and remodel last year for the boys team. Drennan played at Point Park and played on some really good teams in the early to mid 2000s. South Park with 2 games to start the year at home. This the first on the road, trying to avoid an 0-3 start. As they give it up to Stromberg in the final 7 seconds. Now Bennett with 5. They give it up to the corner. Wide open 3. Kontakis hits her second 3 of the game. Give her 6 on the night. And it's a 35-24 score, an 11-point game as we go to the fourth quarter of play. Baldwin leads at final 8 of regulation. Up next on TenbandTV. In an 11-point game, we start the fourth quarter of action, 35-24. Baldwin out in front. Austin Bechtel with you here on TenbandTV as the Fighting Highlanders look to improve to 3-1 on the season with all 3 wins coming at home. Next up will be Penn Trafford on Wednesday. It's a 6 o'clock tip-off doubleheader night. Boys and the girls both playing against Penn Trafford. As Lindsey Bernardes will throw it in right in front of us. Jules Ott, the leading scorer on the night with 11. Is double teamed right off the inbound, and Ott has to go to Meyer. Meyer, as a 3-on-2 emerges, bounces it. Niles off one dribble, goes to Bernardes. Lacey Bernardes open 3. Misses, Niles on the rebound. Niles creates space for herself, misses it though. And the rebound is pulled away by Stromberg. Stromberg, good job to clear, and goes to Bennett. 2-on-2 with Recker. And carry was called against Bennett. Now she turns it over. She just completely palmed the ball as she was trying to drive to the basket. Here's Niles. Back to Ott. Ott up over the timeline. Lindsey Bernardes swings it to Lacey, but Lacey was just trying to keep it from going out of bounds as Lindsey basically threw it out of bounds. That's where Lacey was standing. And now it's Bennett who pushes it up the floor. Stromberg comes to set a screen. They get the switch to the corner and deflected out of bounds. Actually ruled that it was not deflected. It was just Bennett throwing it out of bounds. It was not touched by anybody. So it'll be Baldwin ball. So here's Niles. Bernardes back to Ott. 1 minute gone by in the fourth. Ott drives, finds space, and it'll stay here. Third quarter was the best offensively for South Park all night. It doubled up their total from what they had in the entire first half in that third quarter of play. With 12 points in the quarter, they had 12 at halftime. Into Lacey. Over to Ott. Tightly contested by Kontakis. And now Ott on the crossover screen from Meyer. They look for the switch. Ott has some open room. They go down low to Meyer, who's guarded by Stromberg. Stromberg with the 3 fouls. Back to Ott up top. Kuzma set the check back in with 4 fouls at the scorer's table. Ott to Bernardes. Lacey down low. Kelsey Meyer. Meyer looks for the outlet. Goes to Niles. Niles sidesteps. Gives it up. Back up top to Ott. Over to Lacey. Looks for the lane. Right side. Lacey, right hand. Can't finish. Too strong as Stromberg grabs the rebound. Grabbed it down and went to Bennett. Bennett up the floor. Outlet to the corner. Kentakis has hit 2 3 balls. Not that time, though. Offensive rebound. Good to go. Reese Recker, her first field goal. And the first points for South Park in the quarter. Cuts the deficit to 9. Backdoor. Bernardis spins it in. Lindsay with the bucket. Give her 6 on the night. Back to 11. Bennett swings it. Nika Kentakis back to Bennett. Stromberg gets fouled by Meyer. And Meyer with the 22s on each other. He's trying to act like a defensive back and knock the ball away. That goes on Meyer for her 3rd. As the first on Baldwin of the quarter, first on either team in the 4th. Right into Stromberg. Kentakis looked like she wanted to pull the 3 and had to back it back out. Bennett up top. They give it to Kuzma. Kuzma, the Mount Aloysius basketball commit. Gets it back. And we'll go to the free throw line. We'll give and go with Stromberg. And Andrea Kuzma, the senior guard, will shoot 2. Julianne Ott picks up her 3rd. So Andrea Kuzma, the senior, who continued to play at Mount Aloysius, hits the first. A ton of commits for South Park. Kuzma going to Mount Aloysius, Bennett going to Allegheny, Stromberg going to W&J, and they're all for basketball. Cardillo is going to Pitt Johnstown for soccer. As both free throws are up and good. Makes it 9 again. Ott trying to dribble to break the press, and does over the timeline. Ott still dribbling. Back up top to set up the play. Looks for an outlet. Has Lacey Bernardis. Trying to set up Kelsey Meyer at the block. Lindsay to the corner. Bella Niles has an open 3. Will take it. Too strong. Lacey on the rebound. Lacey gives it up. Niles inside. Niles right hand finishes on the scoop layup. Nifty move for Isabella Niles to be able to find some space to score. Back to 11 again. 39-28 as we're almost halfway through the 4th. Kuzma up top. They're just going to give her the lane. They send it to the corner and Bennett. Either it's Cardillo, who now goes to Bennett. Both in bright pink shoes. Bennett guarded by Ott. And a foul away from the basketball as Stromberg with an offensive foul called as Meyer was trying to go through to defend the ball, and it goes on Stromberg. That is her 4th. So now Kuzma and Stromberg with 4. That is the first foul in the quarter against South Park as they get it into Ott. And Ott is able to contain her dribble. It's guarded by Kentakis, and a 5-second call with Kentakis applying pressure against Ott. It results in 5 called. And Joel Woodson saying from the bench, it's not Ott's fault as Lindsay Bernardis is not over to receive the pass to try to get the offense moving. And it results in a turnover. Kuzma gives it up to Bennett. 3.5 to go. Stromberg comes from the screen. Bennett to the corner. Swing it around. 3-ball up, but off the mark just a little bit to the right for Kentakis. It is Lindsay Bernardis on the rebound. Bernardis pushes the tempo. Bernardis bounces it. Meyer to Lacey. Now Ott. Ott backs it out with 3 minutes to go. Now Lacey right near the Baldwin bench. Back to Ott. Ott gets a screen from Meyer. Ott looks for an outlet. Lacey Bernardis has a lane, loses the basketball as he tried to pass it to Meyer. Now Meyer does end up with it. Double team help comes. It goes off of Stromberg, and now with Lindsay Bernardis trying to dribble it away. Baldwin calls timeout. So with 2:39 to go here in the fourth quarter of play, an 11-point game, 39-28. Baldwin calls timeout. Each team has 3 remaining. 2 fouls against Baldwin in the quarter. South Park with 1. And a shot clock has been approved for the 2028-29 season. Does it sound like it's a little bit far away? Yeah. Could they have done it for 27-28? Maybe. Or even 26-27, but they're giving schools ample time to be able to adjust to a shot clock, adjust to any upgrades and additions that they need in their facility to be able to, first, employ someone to be able to run it, and 2, make sure that you have shot clock capability. Baldwin does. With shot clocks above both baskets, that these new shot clocks were installed about a year and a half ago, which are currently obsolete other than to put the game time up there on the board with one video board to the left of us and one to the right, which is currently, it's an old school scoreboard that could soon be a video board. With some plans in the works, nothing formal and official yet. There's the plan to make it 2 video boards in the gymnasium with Lacey Bernatis in the corner with Lindsay dribbling it with Ott, Meyer, and Niles on the floor. Lindsay gets blocked on the way up by Stromberg, and it's corralled by South Park. Recker, it's called for a jump ball. She was not able to find an outlet, and Niles smartly just went and grabbed the basketball. It will be South Park ball, and Baldwin will apply up full court. And everyone in the backcourt. Kuzma trying to dribble away, almost thrown away. Kentakis gives it up. Stromberg will pull for 3. Way off. That's rebounded by Niles. Ott up the floor to Niles. Niles to Meyer. Good look. Lindsay Bernatis pulls for 3 and nothing but net. Moneyball, Lindsay Bernatis, and a shot when they needed it to give her 9 and draws up the lead to 42-28, and that might be enough to be able to seal it. Kuzma, they look for the outlet. It's there. Recker, offensive foul. Reese Recker called for the foul. And a good job from Baldwin to be able to hold it. Good defense down low by the Fighting Highlanders. And Ronnie Drennan seems a little surprised on the call, but at this point, starting to realize the position that they're in a 42-28 game as Lindsay Bernatis gets double teamed and gives it up. It's Ott. Now Niles, minute and a half. Here's Lacey. Gives it up to Meyer. And Kelsey drives, gives it up. Niles spin move, drives all the way in, traveled. Yes, that is the call. Didn't put the shot up after that second foot hit. That travel called against Bella Niles. Kentakis trying to break the press. Gets it up to Kuzma in the final 60 seconds. Bennett backs it out. Kuzma down low to Stromberg. Stromberg gets fouled. With 50.4 still to go. And the foul goes on Kelsey Meyer. Stromberg on the layup, no good. With 45 seconds left, it goes out of bounds. So to be inbounded by Kentakis, and they go right into Stromberg. Stromberg looking for an outlet. They throw it cross court. 3-point ball up and good. Splashed in by Kentakis. Her third 3 of the game, all of her points coming from behind the arc. Now with 9 in a 42-31 game. It's an 11-point lead for Baldwin, which has consistently been the lead for a large portion of the game. Under a minute remaining for the Fighting Highlanders, looking to improve its third win third win in a row after losing to Shadyside Academy in the first game of the year. And it's a chance for Baldwin, which prides itself on its defense turning into offense. Saw some good things in that regard tonight, but currently on pace for its lowest scoring output of the year. Really not being able to find much consistency and rhythm on offense. See how much that can change before a non-section matchup against Penn Trafford on Wednesday, where Baldwin went last year and played a very close game, but ultimately in that matchup against Penn Trafford, lost it 57-46. Baldwin won in the first round of the playoffs last year against Chartiers Valley 73-72. Played against South Fayette and lost 67-31. A South Fayette team that has Division I prospects everywhere. And in the state playoffs, beat Bethel Park 48-42. In the consolation, that was actually in the consolation round, I should say, the WPIAL playoffs, losing in the first round to Erie Cathedral Prep at the Haggerty Event Center in Erie, 67-55 in the state playoffs. As Ott on the double team, a timeout is called by Baldwin, 32.4 still to go. So in the playoffs last year, Baldwin had that win against Chartiers Valley, which came down to the wire. It was a thrilling game, back and forth at Char Valley, 73-72. South Fayette is a team that consistently has beaten up on many different 5A opponents. And that game was there for it at Mount Lebanon. It's kind of uncompetitive in the second half, and it's not really the efforts of Baldwin, but just how good South Fayette is. One of the best, truly one of the best high school basketball teams over the last couple of years that you'll see in quite some time. With LaDawn, LaRue, multiple players on that South Fayette team that are going to play the next level and be considerable players at the next level. Baldwin followed that in the consolation first round, beating Bethel Park 48-42, and then the fifth place consolation, losing at Penn Trafford 70-69. So Baldwin played Penn Trafford twice last year and lost to him both times. The third time be the charm this year for the matchups in the past two seasons. In the final 25 seconds, South Park not applying any fouls yet, just playing tight defense on Ott and trying to force traps and double teams. But Ott continues to dribble out the clock. They go to Lindsey Bernatis, and Lindsey driving through traffic gets fouled with 12.8. And that is just the third foul against South Park. And it goes on Andrea Kuzma. That's her fifth. She is fouled out. As they bring Cardillo back in. Meyer gets it in. Lindsey Bernatis to Ott. Ott trying to dribble it out to Bernatis. They give it to Lacey. Not taking a shot. And Jules Ott will dribble it out. As Baldwin wins it 42-31. The Fighting Highlanders on a 3-game winning streak makes it 3-1 on the season and wins it in the non-section matchup against 4A South Park. The Eagles now drop to 0-3 on the season. 42-31. It wasn't necessarily a pretty game for the Fighting Highlanders, but Baldwin was able to pull out the win and takes it against the South Park Eagles. Going to see if we get a chance to talk to one of the players as well after the matchup, with Baldwin winning it and setting up that matchup against Penn Trafford on Wednesday in the doubleheader, with Baldwin girls playing at 6 o'clock and the boys right around 7:30, 7:45-ish, depending on the results of the first game. Typically right around 7:30, 7:45 is when the games typically tip off for doubleheader night. And in the final, 42-31, the Fighting Highlanders win it against South Park. Austin Bechtold signing off. We will see you on Wednesday against Penn Trafford right here. Thanks for watching. We will see you Wednesday on TenbandTV. Second shot misses, and Kelsey Meyer corrals the rebound. Myers with a 2-on-1. Bounce pass. Ott. Layup. Good. And the first points go to Jules Ott. Inside the arc. Off a couple of dribbles. Gives it up to Bernatis. Lindsay drives all the way in. Left hand. Can't get it to roll in. Prilla, though, on the rebound finishes. And Prilla follows it up and 3 scores. Give it up and does the Klingensmith. Back to the corner. Lacey Bernatis likes that spot and hits the 3. Lacey Bernatis makes a living hitting 3s in the corner by Baldwin. Here's Ott up the floor. Doing open. Lindsay Bernatis off one dribble left hand, plus the foul. Count it. And Lindsay will go to the free throw line, trying to capitalize on 3-point play. Bennett with Bernatis giving chase. Bennett with some open space. Gives it up. 3-point ball. Kontakis hits in the corner. And that's the first field goal. Backs it back out to the 3-point arc where Lacey Bernatis contests. Stromberg steps back. Hits. Jumper for Stromberg. Baldwin built up so distinctly in the first couple of minutes of this quarter, especially in the first. Another steal for South Park. Bennett in transition with Bernatis giving chase and blocks it. Lindsay Bernatis good. Ball being batted at the left side block. And it's Kontakis to throw it in and gets it in just in time to Bennett, who takes off one step, pulls back for 3, and hits it. Nothing but net. Drives in. Bennett can't finish. Stromberg deflects it to Bennett. Up top, Kuzma down low. Open Stromberg right hand, left side finishes. Then it's Meyer. Meyer gives it up to Ott. Walking down low. Meyer's open. Meyer layup good. Plus the foul. And it goes on. Souh. Easily larger districts. Bennett able to score high off the window. As they give it up to Stromberg in the final 7 seconds. Now Bennett with 5. They give it up to the corner. Wide open 3. Kontakis hits her second 3 of the game. Give her 6. Ott drives, finds space, and it'll stay here. Cuts the deficit to 9. Backdoor. Bernatis spins it in. Bella Niles has an open 3. Will take it. Too strong. Lacey on the rebound. Lacey gives it up. Niles inside. Niles right hand finishes on the scoop layup. Up the floor to Niles. Niles to Meyer. Good look. Lindsay Bernatis pulls for 3 and nothing but net. Moneyball, Lindsay Bernatis, and a shot when they needed it. Dropped to 0-3 on the season. 42-31. It wasn't necessarily a pretty game